Welcome to ledlightbulbsales.co.uk. Today we're going to review an E27 RGB LED colour changing light bulb, supplied to us by lightrabbit.co.uk. The bulbs are quite stylish in themselves, and part of the bulb makeup is a metal housing which acts as a heat diffuser. Although that said, I've used these for 3 or 4 hours and to be honest, they only get warm. They certainly don't get hot. Each bulb is supplied with a remote control, a slimline remote control, and there's red, green and blue, the RGB, and a colour palette of variants of those colours. So for instance, if we click on the red, you can see the colour of the bulb changes to red, green and blue. Now importantly here, we have one remote control. We're firing up 2 bulbs and we can control them independently of each other. The colour palette's great, and as I say, there are 16 predefined colours in there, but if we look along the second row down from the top, there's some black buttons there which are called flash, strobe, fade and smooth. If we click on flash, we can see that the lights will flash on and off, and the colour will change every 1 second, and this goes through all 16 colours. The strobe disappointed me slightly because I expected it to be like a strobe light, whereas in actual fact it is a colour changing through the 16 colours every 5 seconds. The fade fades between the colours, and that fades every 1 second. And then finally the smooth button again fades, but it's a much more subtle fade. Whilst one colour's there, the other one will gently fade in over the top of that, and again it happens every 5 seconds. Now one thing that did disappoint me slightly was the setup button on the controller. I had hoped that I could click on setup, create a light show, for use of a better word, and play that back, and that's not the case. All the setup does is creates a flashing effect, and if I change the colour I can create a sort of Belisha beacon type of effect, and that's all that setup does. However, combine setup with something like fade and you can see it will flash and fade at the same time. So it's a pretty cool function, actually, a pretty cool setting. Now I'll cancel the setup there and I'll set the left hand side up to fade, and I'll put the right hand side on smooth. And so I'll do that again, flash and smooth. So we can see on the left hand side we're flashing away, and on the right hand side it's subtly changing between the 2 colours on the smooth effect. Now equally I could just set one side to be a constant colour whilst the other side has an effect going on, or I can change either side to be a constant colour. The flexibility with this remote control and the preset configurations in there, the possibilities are almost infinite, if you like. In a house environment we have great fun with these. We use them as a mood lighting in the evenings. We also use them at parties, and you can see that in the short video of our New Year's Eve party below. But in a commercial environment, shops, pubs, restaurants, hotels, these can really come into their own in that you could create zones within your commercial environment, if you like. If you've got a nook or a cranny or a little hole somewhere, put some lighting in there and really create a nice ambience. 50 bulbs in a commercial environment, 1 controller, somebody walking around setting the lightings. You could have a real bespoke setup there. So they're very flexible, very versatile bulbs, and we're grateful to have reviewed them. I think they're really, really good. Thanks for watching. ledlightbulbsales.co.uk.
The shot is